Hello and welcome. Today's presentation is about how to meet guys without online dating. If we've never met, my name is Vaishali Nikade, and I am a left brain engineer who transitioned to a right brain psychic. I'll give you a little bit more information about myself a little further in the presentation. So, most of my clients, or a lot of my clients, are women, and some of them are into online dating, and I'll talk about it a little bit. And some of them, they definitely do not want to get involved with online dating. They want nothing to have or do with online dating. They want to meet someone organically. So if you are someone who is not into online dating or who is into online dating but still wants to meet someone organically, then this presentation is for you. What you will discover is the fastest and easiest method to meet quality guys where you'll actually get found without having an online dating profile. So, if you feel that you definitely need to have an online dating profile to be found, you don't really need that. There are other ways the universe can arrange for you to be found, even if you don't have an online dating profile. What you will learn in this presentation is how simple intuitive techniques can quickly get you on the dating radar, even if you barely have an online presence. So, you have to put a little bit of different type of work. So instead of pounding in front of your computer and browsing through sites, you do a little bit different type of work. And once you learn the techniques, these techniques can quickly get you on the dating radar. And I actually have been using these techniques to get clients for my business. When I first started, I had like a one-page website, and I barely knew any SEO. I didn't know how to get clients. So I started working on these intuitive techniques. And then I still use these techniques to date to get clients. And you can use the same techniques to get dates. You'll also learn the top 5 reasons why dating sites don't work and how you can be organically found for the right dates. So I'm going to go and flesh out all the reasons and how you can be found. And then I'm going to give you 5 keys to be seen and found while becoming visible to the right people for getting dates. So, this is all the things that you're going to learn. And then at the end of the presentation, I am going to give you a way where you can work with me, where you can get more support, and where you can move forward in your journey. So, this presentation is for you if you're sick and tired of dating weirdos on online dating sites who tell you everything but the truth. And I'm going to give you some stories, and every story I'm going to strip off the names of the clients to protect their identities, and I'm going to give you the essence of the story. So, I had this situation where this girl, she used to meet guys on dating sites, and she would have like the same pattern. And I asked her to change the way she was looking at things and ask a specific set of questions. And as soon as she started doing that, she realized that, the guys were just kind of hiding the truth and not telling her the truth. But it helped her weed out a lot of the guys where she would have just ended up wasting her time. And then I have some women who want to meet someone organically. So if you are someone who wants to meet someone organically with help from the universe, then this presentation is for you. And if you're ready for a loving relationship and prefer only quality dates, then this presentation is definitely for you. And lastly, if you're craving to meet the love of your life without swiping through dating apps, then I am going to show you how you can use some of these techniques to be able to meet people. Like I mentioned, I use the same techniques to get clients for my business. I'm going to give you the what in this video, and for the how, you'll have to complete the discovery call application. So I'm going to lay it out all step by step, and I'll give you what you have to do it. But in order to determine how you need to do it, you're going to have to complete the discovery call application. So, firstly, who am I? So, as I mentioned, my name is Vaishali Nikhade, and I am a left brain engineer who transitioned to a right brain psychic. I have done over 7,000 readings, and in these readings, I have seen a lot of different things, different challenges that women face while dating. I have predicted the future girlfriends and boyfriends of many people. I have also predicted the breakups and makeups and all different sorts of things. But the key is that once you are aware of certain things, then you will learn to look at things differently. So, why is the online dating game so difficult? First of all, it requires you to work hard. So, really, the online dating game is you spend a lot of time on dating sites. And this is what some of my clients tell me. They spend a lot of time browsing through dating sites and picking profiles and then sending them messages and then waiting for the return messages and then communicating with them and so on. And I was on a call today, and one of the ladies, she is a part of some group where she's getting coaching related to dating. She mentioned that they even have templates on how to respond to a person. Now, if you're going to need a template on how to respond to a person just when things have barely started, what are you going to do further down in the relationship? Are you going to get a template for each and everything? It's it just doesn't seem so practical to have those kind of tools to work. So, and moreover, it's like working hard. You are just pushing this boulder uphill and you are going to get exhausted because look at the boulder, it is so big and there is one tiny you. So, just browsing through thousands of profiles, that is just doing hard work. You also need a lot of time to figure out the truth. So, believe it or not, a lot of the guys, they actually forget to tell you certain things. Like, I had a client and she mentioned that this guy asked her out for a date and he forgot to tell her that he was married. And it took her a couple of dates to figure that out, but in essence, she ended up wasting that time. So, if you're going to if you're going to do this, then you have to be smart and you have to kind of outsmart the person in front of you, especially when he is playing some sort of a game, like this guy who forgot to mention that he was married. And it becomes a real roller coaster ride because some days you feel really good because maybe you found a nice profile, and some days you feel really bad because nothing is happening. So it's a real roller coaster ride. At any given time, a very small percent of the guys are looking for a committed relationship. So you have to understand that just from this very nature, the odds are kind of slightly against you because you have to meet someone who is in that small percent of the people who are looking for a committed relationship. And then the rest of the guys, they fall into one of three categories. The first one is interested but not ready to commit. And a lot of the readings I do, they are from women who have this guy and he's kind of interested and they want to know when they're going to hear back from him and so on. But in essence, the person is not ready to commit because think about it this way: if you were ready to commit to someone, would you really have to wait on messages and wait on communication? And if it was, is that the kind of a relationship you want? No, most people don't want that kind of a relationship. It just becomes too much work. And some of the guys, they are only interested in friends with benefits kind of a relationship. So that's like your prerogative. If that's what you want, then you are welcome to that. But this presentation is mainly for people who are looking for a long term relationship, looking for a partner who is committed to a long term relationship. And sometimes the timing is just not right. So, in essence, you kind of need a little bit of divine timing to be able to meet the right person. So, how do you get past all this BS? So, the strategy is to create with your own superpower. And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into this strategy. What is this superpower? The superpower is your own spirit or your intuition. So, we are a spirit in a body. If you see this person, you have the body, he has the physical body, and then he has the spirit. You see these chakras. So, we are a spirit in a body, and when most people are doing the work, they're using the abilities of the body. They are using their senses, their physical senses, to do the work, and the physical senses are very limited in their ability. So they're using the computer, they're pounding on the computer to search through sites and so on and so forth, and they're not finding the right profiles or not meeting the right people. Now, our spirit, on the other hand, our spirit also has sensors, and the spirit sensors are called chakras. And as opposed to our physical senses, our spirit sensors, they have infinite capabilities, which means that they can penetrate through the bounds of space and time. And they can guide us in order to be able to move forward. And all we need to do is kind of listen to the messages and move forward. It's almost like having a GPS, and the GPS is telling you that do this, do that, and don't do this, don't do that. So, our intuition is the communicator. It tells us that you need to do something or you don't need to do something. So the 5 step method is the first step is working smart. So remember I showed you how you can work hard, but instead of working hard, you can work smart. And I'm going to go through the 5 steps and give you an example of how you can actually do that. Okay, so the first step is working smart. The next step is you have to create with spirit. Remember, I showed you how our physical body has limitations, but the spirit does not have those limitations. So you can use the spirit to create some things like how I create my clients, or you can even use the spirit to get a response from someone. I'll give you an example. I was standing in line at Macy's. I had placed an online order and I was there to pick up something. And boy, the line was long. I was like number 5 or 6. And I'm like, oh my God, do I really have to stand in line for like another 10, 15 minutes? And I decided that I didn't. So I whipped out a few tools from my toolbox, from my spirit toolbox, and I just created this thing where they would call me for some reason or they would give me service ahead of the 5, 6 people. Now, how it was going to play out, I didn't really know, and I didn't even know if it was going to play out. So, within a few minutes after I did my little exercise, this lady comes and says, do we have anyone picking up online orders? And I'm like, yes, I raised my hand. So, she called me in, she gave me my thing, and I was off and out. And all the other people, they were still waiting. So just as how I had created in spirit, the universe delivered it to me like right there and then. So this is an example of how you can create with spirit and how you can work smart versus working hard. You don't need to work hard, you have to learn how to work smart. There is a saying in English which says that I would rather be lucky than smart. So this is almost as though you are creating your luck by leveraging the ability of your spirit. The next step is to connect with your intuition. So, intuition is the ability of the spirit to be able to guide you and to give you messages and you need to connect with the intuition or listen to the message and then act on it. So that is the step 4. You have to take action. And then the last step is to watch the magic happen. So I gave you the example of the Macy's kind of pickup item, but I'll give you a little bit broader example here. And I'm going to go back to this first step, which is working smart. So this is example of a deck I was looking for, and this deck was kind of highly priced. I think it was like $40-50, and it wasn't even available in the US. You had to get it from Europe, and the shipping was about $40-50. Now, I was willing to spend $40-50 for a deck, but I wasn't willing to spend $50 for shipping. That was just like, I just thought that was too much. So I decided that instead of working hard and making another $50, I was going to work smart. Now, it is not about the $50, but it is about using your tools and using your abilities to be able to create with spirit and seeing if it's even possible. If not, I would have spent the money, but I didn't want to spend it right up front. So I decided to be smart and I said, okay, I'm not spending the $50 on shipping. I am just going to see how the universe is going to arrange for that deck to come to me. So I decided to work smart. So the next thing I did was I created with spirit. So remember I told you I'm going to give you the what and the how. For the how, you have to fill out the application for the discovery session. So the what was to create with spirit. So essentially I created the deck with spirit and I said, okay, I have this with me, and I kind of worked that out in the spirit realm. And after I was done, I connected with my intuition. Now, when I connected with my intuition, I was kind of guided to talk to the student I had, and I was teaching classes for intuition at that time. And I told her that this is a little bit weird, but I'm going to tell you what happened. I told her that, hey, listen, I'm looking for a deck, and the deck is only available in Europe. Do you by any chance know anyone who lives in Europe who can ship me a deck? I knew it was a long shot, but if you don't ask, you don't know whether the answer is yes or no. So she said, you know what? I actually have a friend and she's going to a meetup today or some sort of a party, and she's going to meet a guy who lives in Europe. And I can actually ask her if that guy is going to be willing to ship the deck to you. I said, well, that's cool. So I connected with my intuition. My intuition said, okay, talk to this lady. And I spoke to her and then I took action, which is I went ahead and kind of posed a question to her, had a conversation with her. I didn't know if anything was going to come out with it. This was a really long shot. It was a third, fourth degree connection. Like me and her friend was going to meet somebody else. That's like 3, 4 people away. By that time, the message was going to get distorted. But it didn't hurt to take a chance. So I decided to go with it. And then within a few days, less than a few days or less than a week, she told me that, her friend met this guy, let's call him John. Her friend met John, and John is more than willing to ship me the deck. And they connected John and me, and John was so nice to me. And he kind of communicated with me. I told him exactly what I wanted. He showed me the images, and then he got it for me, and then he shipped it to me, and I had it in my hands. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how quickly it all manifested, and I couldn't believe that he was so nice. And I paid him whatever the shipping was. It wasn't $50, but it was less, and I was so happy. So this is how you can actually, so this was watching the magic happen. So this is how you can actually create with spirit, listen to your intuition, take action, and then watch the magic happen. And you can just see that how it came to me in a very roundabout and a very unique and a magical way, as opposed to me just shelling out another $50 and getting the deck shipped to my home. It's just, there is so much more magic, there is so much more joy, and there is so much more fun in getting something via this manner. So now we are going to shift to online dating. And so essentially, the idea is just like how you can have a deck come to you, you can also have a date come to you. And that is the technique that, like I mentioned, for the how you have to sign up for the discovery call, but that is the what. And I gave an example of how I created the deck and got it right in my hands. And I still use that to date. So, 5 reasons why online dating is difficult and how you can meet guys without a dating profile. So, the first one is there is no trust in a profile. There are so many profiles on the internet, on the dating sites. So, sometimes, it's just like you're just browsing through something. Could be like, it's something like a habit you're doing and you're barely paying attention. So, there is not that much trust in a profile. The second thing is that the guys may not feel a strong urge to act. Sometimes they may feel, oh yeah, I'll do it later. And by the time later comes, it's maybe like 6 months or a year, and by the time that profile is gone, who knows what has happened. So the guys have a busy schedule. Now, everybody has a busy schedule, but the thing is, because of that, your mind kind of skips that particular moment, and then you forget what it was that you saw or whose profile it was, and you just missed an opportunity. Life gets in the way. Life is always going to get in the way. No matter what, life is always going to get in the way. You just have to laugh at it and move forward. And lastly, there are lots of distractions. So I was talking to I was talking to some customer service at Macy's yesterday to ask them some questions, and the thing is they would respond and then I would go and click on another browser, and when I would do that, the guys on the Macy's browser were gone. So essentially, they wanted me to be there for 5 minutes. I couldn't even be on that one tab for 5 minutes. I had to switch tabs and see what was going on in my other tabs. Can you imagine if I'm doing that? What would it be for the guys who are browsing through dating profiles? So now we'll come into the second part, which is the fun part as to how the universe is going to do it. The universe will plan a connection for you with the guy. So, since I'm giving an example of how I connected with this person for the deck, the universe actually planned the connection. Now, had I not approached this lady who was my student, nothing would have happened. Because those contacts were so far off, I had to take action on my part. I had to create with spirit, I had to tap into my intuition, and I had to take action on my part to plan the connection, to make the connection with this lady so that it could move forward. The next one is to create a great environment for the connection. So the universe created a great environment. This girl was like right there in front of me. She was my student. I had already spoken to her so many times. So talking to her was not a problem at all. So the universe had already created a great environment and she already knew her friend and her friend's friend. So it was all a great environment. Everything was connected. The universe just kind of connected the dots. I had to take action and then make the connection happen naturally. Like her friend knew the guy. So everything kind of happened very naturally or very organically once the first step was done. So it's almost like if you've ever been to a bowling alley, you just hit that one pin and then everything falls. So that's how the connection happened so naturally. And then connect only great potential matches with you. So the universe is not going to connect people who are not a good match for you. In some cases, the universe may connect people with you to test you to see if you have learned a lesson or not. And if that is the case, that's a different thing. But otherwise, if you've already learned your lessons, then the universe is going to connect great potential matches with you, just like the universe connected this match for me to get my deck. And then the universe will move things in a serendipitous fashion. So the universe is known for creating synchronicities and serendipitous events or things. And when it happens, like it happened for my deck or it happened for my Macy's pickup item, you the joy you get from it, it's something very different than just doing things in a normal way. So my question to you is, are you sick and tired of low quality dates, or are you frustrated with the lack of dates, or you're tired of hearing, oh no, I'm not ready for that yet, and you're wondering if things will ever change? And you feel stupid to put yourself on online dating sites. Maybe you've done it and you have been burnt and you don't want to do it again. So you kind of feel like, should I really be doing this? So, if you're ready to get my complete formula on how to meet quality guys leading to your knight in a shining armor, which will have no more swiping, so you don't need to get on any dating apps and you don't need to swipe right or swipe left or swipe anywhere. You don't need to swipe to the next browser or click on the next tab. And you don't need to log in to any more dating sites. You don't need to have an account on one and then the other and then the other and then just have different logins, different images, different pictures. You don't need to do that. You don't need to post a new picture every few weeks. So some women, they think that just by posting a new picture, they're going to attract more attention. So you don't need to do that either. You can get found by the one just by using the techniques I showed you. I showed you the 5 step process and I showed you how I did that for the Macy's item. I showed you how I did that for the deck. And I use the same techniques to get my clients, and you can use the same techniques to get dates. So, what I have is a Get Lucky in Love discovery call. And in this discovery call, I'm going to have you complete the application form if you're interested in moving forward to schedule a one on one call so that you can sign up with me to learn the techniques to be able to move forward and attract high quality dates instead of working hard. Remember, instead of working hard, you would learn how to work smart. So, this is perfect for you if you're ready to meet someone for a long term relationship. So, if you're sick and tired of people not telling the truth, posting pictures that are like 20 years old, not responding to your messages, and you're ready to meet someone who is sincere for a long term relationship, or if you want a simple, effective way to meet someone organically, so maybe you don't like to put yourself on dating sites and you want to meet someone organically and you're looking for a simple method, then this is for you. Or you crave a partner that is loving, caring, and attentive, and you want to quit searching all these dating apps, then this is your chance to meet Prince Charming and invite him into your life using the same techniques I use to get clients for my business. And what you will learn is you will go through 3 phases. The first phase is you will learn about influences. Now, some of these influences may be in your blind spot. Some of these influences you may not have connected the dots yet. But you will learn what kind of influences are there on your love life. What is influencing it? What are the direct influences? What are the indirect influences? How are they playing out? How have they played out in the past? Are you still stuck in the same pattern of having like the same kind of guys over and over again, and so on? And then you will learn about synchronicities. Remember, the language of the universe is synchronicities. It will always communicate to you, but you have to make sure that you are listening so that you are taking action based on the messages you're receiving from the universe. And then the last phase is creation. And in this phase, you are going to learn how to create using the spirit. Just like I showed you how I created the Macy's pickup item, or how I create clients for my online business, or how I created that deck to be shipped to me without paying the $50 shipping. You can actually learn how to create, and you will learn how to create dates, or kind of receive information from people or connections where you'll get invited randomly, and things will move forward just like how they happened for my deck. So you may be wondering, is this going to really work for you? So I have helped thousands of clients by now. And this is a testimonial from Karen. And she was having some problems. And I kind of helped her show her who her next partner was going to be, where she was going to meet him, and so on. And then she emailed me stating that she actually met the love of her life, and so on and so forth. And she actually also understood why her prior relationships weren't working. And then this is a testimonial from Andrea. And Andrea actually was single at the time I read her. And then I predicted the person she would meet, and she actually met that person. And then she is married to this guy right now. So she's been married for a few years, I think, now. So I'm still in touch with her. So these are just a few of my testimonials. I have a lot more testimonials on my site. And you're welcome to browse those as well. Now, there is one question which is $1 million question which I get asked often, and I feel that I would be doing injustice if I don't address the answer here. And the question is, what if I'm unclear if my ex will come back? So think about it this way. I showed you how I wanted that deck. I had a very specific deck in my mind, and I just knew that I wanted that for whatever reasons I wanted it. I just wanted the deck. Okay. So now I personally didn't care, whether it came from Germany or whether it came from Italy or whether it came from London. I didn't really care because it was available in Europe. But I did care that it came to me, and I did care that it was that specific deck. Now, when you're asking for an ex to come back, it's almost like you're saying that, I want that deck which is in John Doe's shop in Paris to be shipped to me. And I want the universe to kind of just let John Doe know by magic that I need the deck, and then he needs to ship that to me. And I'm not willing to do any work. Well, just leave aside not willing to do any work. Even if you are willing to do the work, whether or not John Doe wants to ship the deck, that is up to John Doe. You cannot go against someone's free will. But what you can say is these are the characteristics of the person that I'm looking for, and then kind of leave it in the hands of the universe to figure out whether the universe wants to deliver the deck from John Doe's shop or any other deck from, say, Italy or Germany or London. So it's almost like whether the universe wants to deliver John Doe to you, or the universe wants to deliver somebody who has the characteristics, whatever ideal characteristics you have asked for. But it is not John Doe, maybe it is Tom something. So it's almost like you can ask the universe for it, you can ask the universe for a particular X, but whether or not you get it, that is totally in the hands of the universe. There could be so many reasons why the universe may or may not want to connect with you. It could be that person is not available, it could be that person is not the right match for you, it could be just that the timing is off, or it could just be that there is something in the space between the two of you which is not letting you connect. So unless I look at you and read you, I won't be able to tell you, but you have to kind of leave it in the hands of the universe and know that it always has something for your highest good. And because of that, you can let the universe determine whether John Doe is going to come back in your life, or maybe Tom is going to come back in your life. So, like I mentioned, you can ask for it, but whether or not you will get it, that is totally in the hands of the universe. So, if you're interested to work with me and learn the how, remember I showed you the what, I showed you some examples, and I said that I'll show you the what, but for the how, you have to complete the discovery call application. So, go ahead and complete the discovery call application. It's just below. And if you run into any problems or if you have any questions, feel free to email me. This is my email, or you can also go back on the rightmost corner of the page. There should be a chat box. You can go ahead and send me a message, but make sure you type in your right email, otherwise I won't be able to respond to you. And hopefully, you enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to working with you soon.